So all these flavours together, I'm sure it's going to be delicious. It's a bit like a posh fry-up with potatoes, to be honest with you. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Gugu's Kitchen, and if you are new here then hello and welcome. My name's Alexis, and in today's video I want to share with you how to make my delicious baked eggs, chorizo and potato. As I just mentioned, today I want to share with you how to make this really delicious baked egg, chorizo and potato recipe. This dish is really delicious. It's slightly time consuming, but the efforts are worth the results, as always, as I always say, and it's really easy as well, I have to say. The first thing I've done is I've preheated my oven to about 200 degrees, and while I'm preheating it I've also put a baking tray into the oven as well, and now I've put a large saucepan onto a high heat on my hob, and I'm just bringing this to the boil now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add about 400 grams of potatoes to this. So in the original recipe this serves 4, but it's only my husband and myself having this meal tonight. So I'm actually making this for 2 people today. So I only need 400 grams of potato. I've kind of halved all the ingredients for this recipe. So if you want to make it for 4 then you can do it. You will need 800 grams of potato though, depending on how much you like potato obviously as well. So yes, I think this is coming to the boil now. So I'm going to pop the potatoes into the water like that. I think I'm going to put the lid on, and I'm going to bring this to the boil, and then once it comes to the boil I will leave it to simmer for a good 5 minutes, and then if the potatoes are forkful, so if they fall off a fork, then that is perfect. They are done, and we can put those through a colander, and we will use those put them into the baking tray later on. So as I said, I'm just going to let this pan come to the boil. The pan has started to come to the boil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the heat down to a high to medium heat, I'd say, and I'm just going to let that simmer for a good 5 minutes. And while that's simmering, I am going to put this pan onto a high heat, and I'm going to let this, I'm going to get some oil first, and then I will let this heat up. So I've grabbed my oil, I'm just going to let this heat up with the oil in. And while that pan is heating up, I just want to say that if you have enjoyed this video today and you'd like to see more, then please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you have really liked this video today, then please feel free to give it a big thumbs up. Everything like that really helps me out, and I would really appreciate it. So as I said, I'm just going to leave this pan to heat up. Sorry, I realised that my camera's one on the pan that I'm using now. So yes, the pan is getting hot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the chorizo into the frying pan, and I'm going to cook the chorizo until the oil starts to come out of it. So there will be a lot of flavour in this dish, because you want to cook this until the bottom of the pan starts to become oily. So I'm just going to continue to fry the chorizo. So that only took about 30 seconds or so, more after I left you that only took about a minute or so, and as you can see there's lots of oil coming from the chorizo. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to add in 1 onion that I have peeled, sliced and diced. So I'm just going to add that to the base of my pan like so. And I'm going to fry the onion along with the chorizo until the onion starts to soften. It should take about 2 to 3 minutes, depending on your hob. I can see this pan is getting a little bit too hot, so I'm just going to turn the heat down. The onion has started to soften, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in the pepper. So I have 1 pepper that I've removed the top from, taken the core and the stalk from the pepper, and then I've just simply sliced and diced the flesh. So I'm just going to pop that into my frying pan like so, and I'm going to fry these ingredients. Now I just want to penetrate the pepper with heat so that when it goes into the oven it cooks and softens in the sauce that I'm going to use for this dish. So this is the sauce that I'm making now, and I just want to fry this for a few minutes or so. It can start to soften, but it doesn't necessarily need to, because I know pepper takes a long time to soften when you fry it in a frying pan. But probably about 3 to 5 minutes is fine for the pepper, just as long as it starts to soften. So I'm going to continue to fry the red pepper. And then finally I have my courgette that I'm going to pop into the saucepan. So I have peeled one courgette, and then I have just simply grated it, and I'm just going to pop that in. I grate it for quickness more than anything else really. It just helps it to cook quicker when it's in the saucepan. So that's the reason I tend to grate vegetables, but also because my husband and son don't know it's in there and they have to eat it if it's grated. So that's also why I grate it, but my main reason is because it cooks slightly quicker. So you just want the courgette to heat through, because that's going to just sink into the sauce quite nicely. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in my tin of tomatoes to this as well. So I have 1 tin of tomatoes, excuse me coughing there, just getting over a bit of a cold, I have to say. And then I've also got about 100 mils of bone broth there as well. You can use chicken stock if you want to, or you could use vegetable stock as well. It doesn't have to be bone broth. And I'm just going to mix those together, and then I'm going to add in a tablespoon of tomato puree as well, and I'm going to add in a teaspoon of dried mixed herbs as well, because we do like our dried mixed herbs. And then I'm going to leave this on the hob, because I think my potatoes are cooked. Yep. I don't know if you saw that then, but the potatoes are falling from the fork nicely, so I'm going to turn the heat off on that. Not that one, that one. I'm going to remove that from the heat, and I'm going to just stir that round and add a little bit of salt and pepper. So I'm going to add salt and pepper, and then I will take the potatoes to the sink and I will drain them through a colander, and I will leave this on the hob while I go and do that. I'm going to leave this on the hob for a few minutes, and then I will come back and I will transfer everything to the baking tray that's in the oven at the moment. So I've grabbed my baking tray from the oven, and I've removed the sauce that I was making and the potatoes as well. I drained them through the colander, and then I just roughed them up in the colander so that when they cook they will hopefully become like quite crispy on the outside. And I'm pouring sauce on it, but hopefully they'll still get a little bit crispy. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add my potatoes to the baking tray, and I'm just going to pour over some olive oil like so, and I'm just going to toss those potatoes in the oil like I would when you make a roast potato. Basically, this is what I do when I make a roast potato. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour the sauce over the top of those as well, and I'm going to pop that into the oven for about 25 minutes, and then after 25 minutes I will pop some eggs in and I'll pop them back in. But that basically is it done, and I'm off to put this into the oven now for, as I said, about 25 minutes. So as you can see, the potato and sauce has been in the oven for about 25 minutes, a lovely golden brown colour, and I've just put my eggs in. I have to do this really quickly, so what I did was I created a well with the spoon, and then I just popped the eggs into those wells. So I cracked the eggs and just popped them in, and I'm now going to put this back into the oven for for about for about 10 minutes, and I'll see how they look. Sometimes they need a little bit longer and sometimes they need a bit less, so I'll just wait to see how they look after 10 minutes. The eggs are done. As you can see, the outside has gone completely white. I think the inside, the yolk, might be a little bit hard, so I would suggest less time in the oven. Also, if you have a lid as well, that might help keep the yolk runny. When the yolk is runny, it is really delicious because it just oozes out all over the other ingredients, and it's really nice. It's like having a tomato ketchup with it. That's why I like the yolk runny. But anyway, I'm going to serve some of this up and I will let you know how it tastes. As I said, I thought I'd just give this a little try and let you know how it tastes. It smells really good, I have to say. So I'm sure it's going to be delicious. I've got a little bit of the egg and a little bit of the soft potato as well. The potatoes are beautifully soft as well. Oh, that's really nice. And I've got a little bit of chorizo as well. So all these flavours together, I'm sure it's going to be delicious. It's a bit like a posh fry-up with potatoes, to be honest with you. If you're English, you'll know what, or British, you'll know what a fry-up is. So yes, I'm really looking forward to having this for my dinner this evening. That's how you make my delicious baked egg, chorizo and potato, and that recipe I will link in the description box below for you. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to be having this for our dinner this evening and it smells and tastes so good, I can't wait. So for now, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and please feel free to leave any comments below. And please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See you all soon. Bye.